Since I was a jit, I knew I was a winner. I pray to God forgive me cause I'm a born sinner. Got more on my plate than a Thanksgiving dinner. Gotta save for any days cause shit do get thinner.
Yo, how we giving it up, man? It's your boy Jumpout LO, and you tuned in to check your mental. And today I want to talk about a subject that probably I breezed through it in the past, but I want to revisit it. And that's alcohol consumption, right? I grew up in a culture, I'm Dominican, that drinking is completely normal, right? They normalize drinking even as early as, since you're like maybe 14, 15 is normal for you to see a kid with a beer. It's completely normalized in our culture, right? But I'm here to tell you that, what if I tell you that alcohol affects your brain, it affects your body, it affects your mood, it affects you as a whole? Because I saw the effects of alcohol in my family firsthand. I had an uncle that whenever he'll drink to the point that he'll get so aggressive. He'll get drunk to the point that he would just become aggressive. He'll want to start trouble with everybody. And he wasn't never in the right state of mind. So my uncle will start fights with everybody, and he'll just be this completely different person than the person he was when he was sober. When he'll be sober, he'll be a completely different person. He'll be social. He won't start for trouble. He'll be quiet and timid, right? He'll be this totally different person, right? Because what I realized that alcohol was destroying him and the way he thinks and the way he acts and the way he views the world. It clouded his judgment, and it made him very violent, and it made him to the point that some family got away from him because it was like, nah, we can't tolerate you, or you got to stop the drinking before you come around the family again, because you always want to start trouble. So the thing that people do to socialize was destroying his social skills, right? Because he was becoming very aggressive. And I grew up thinking that drinking was completely normal. So when we were growing up, I remember being 16 years old, and we would tell somebody they'll get us a bottle from the liquor store. They'll buy us a bottle, and we'll get intoxicated to the point we'll pass out. I remember one time we passed out on the driveway. But what I didn't know was the effects of alcohol in the brain, the effects of alcohol in the liver, the effects of alcohol in your body. Because when you're young, you're not thinking of any of that. You think you're invincible. But what happens when those things start to catch up to you? Alcohol damages your liver severely. And I have got friends that lost their lives because of alcohol. Because they were drinking to the point that their body would tremble if they didn't have a drink. They will go through serious withdrawals. Because alcohol withdrawals are very deadly. They can kill you. You actually need a program to try to get off alcohol, because alcohol is very serious. It's not like when you're going through the drug withdrawals that you kind of can manage on your own. Alcohol is a bit differently. You can't just quit alcohol cold turkey. So why get to the point that you need a drink just to feel regular? Why get to that point? Sometimes we use alcohol to get loose or to socialize. But what if I tell you that you could do all those things sober? What if I tell you that you don't need a drink to be social? What if I tell you that you can unlock all those things on your own without having to have a drink? You don't need to have a drink to open up to people and dance. I used to be that person that thought I had to be effed up to dance, to have a good time, to just socialize with people. Until I started hanging with people that didn't drink, and they had a great time. And if they did drink, they'll have like something very minimal. They'll drink very responsibly. They wouldn't drink to get drunk. Because that's what we were kind of taught in our youth and the environment we grew up in, is drink till you get drunk, right? And that's not good for you. Because those things start catching up with you, especially when you start getting older. When you start getting older, you don't want to end up on dialysis because you damage your liver to the point it doesn't work on its own, from drinking. Drinking, you have blackout periods that you just went to sleep and don't even remember anything. From drinking, you don't want to go through those things where you black out completely and don't remember a thing because you were that drunk, or you did something that you weren't supposed to do because you weren't conscious enough, or you make decisions that you weren't supposed to make. And that's not even getting to the other part, the drinking and driving. How many people you know don't lost their lives because of a drunk driver? Do you want that in your conscience, that you took somebody's life because you were drinking and you felt like, oh, I got it, I could drive, and somebody died because of you? Do you want that in your conscience, that you killed somebody because you wanted to drink and be irresponsible and drive and put your life and others' lives in danger? You don't want to live with that in your conscience. So find ways to cope with stress. Find ways to cope with your anxiety, to cope with your depression, because a lot of times we use the liquor to escape reality. Just like I used the drugs when I was popping perks and smoking weed, I use that to escape reality. Some people use liquor, but the thing with liquor can damage your body even faster than these other things can. And I'm not making excuses. They're all bad if you ask me, because when you're on them, you don't think that they're bad. But in the long run, when they start damaging you, your body, just your intestines, and you just aren't the same person anymore, then it's too late. Don't wait until it's too late for you to say, man, I gotta put this bottle down. I had an associate of mine that every time he'll drink, it was guaranteed he'll get into a domestic dispute with his wife all the time. And it was so toxic and violent that he would end up in jail numerous times, beating up his girlfriend. And it was so toxic to the point that he landed himself in jail for a long time for being drunk and acting drunk. So I say this again, guys. You don't need to drink. You don't need the liquor. You don't need those things to feel social, to feel better, to feel good. Put the bottle down, man. There's other ways to cope. There's other ways to socialize. There's other ways to do things. I only drink water now. I'm so terrified of these things that I used to glorify so much. I'm scared of them now because I see the truth. I see them for what they do to people, how they change people. You know what that is, that you wake up shaking because you don't have a drink and you need it? Do you want to get to that point in your life where you need a drink? It's no longer, I'm drinking just to be social. It's no, I need a drink. And truthfully, I never really liked liquor. I always used to drink to either socialize with others, or I just wanted to forget about life. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get drunk tonight because I want to forget. But then I learned through the years that it's other ways. It's other ways that I could cope with my stress. Now I go to the gym and I work out. Now I go and I journal and I let those intrusive thoughts on paper and I leave them there. I no longer need liquor. I no longer need drugs to cope with the anxiety and the stresses of life. Because let me tell you something, life is always going to have something that you're going to stress about. Is always going to be something, but it's how you deal with it. It's how you react to it. That makes the difference. That's what makes the difference. How do you react? How do you deal? How do you cope with it? And like I said, you could work out. You could fix yourself something healthy to eat. You could journal. You could go for a nice run. You could do many things that they didn't teach us. What they teach us growing up in the urban communities is, nah, man, we gonna drink, we gonna get effed up tonight, and we gonna forget about everything. But what happens tomorrow? You forget about everything for one day, but what happens tomorrow when the problem is still there? They never taught us how to deal with the problems. They just taught us how to put a Band-Aid over them. Let's stop putting a Band-Aid on them and let's get to the core and let's fix these issues instead of running away from them. Let's fix these issues that were generationally passed through us. Let's fix them. Let's get to the core. Let's get to the beginning, the root of it all. And let's change, y'all. We can't keep putting Band-Aids on situations and expect for them to change. It's just a Band-Aid. It's just a Band-Aid. You did not heal. You did not properly talk about it. You didn't do anything but put a Band-Aid on it. When you drink, you're putting a Band-Aid on it. When you smoke, you're putting a Band-Aid on it. When you pop in these pills, you're just putting a Band-Aid on the pain. But you're not dealing with the pain. Now I deal with my pain. Regardless of how hard things are, I deal with them. Because when you deal with them, you heal from them. You have to deal with it. You can't run away from your problems all the time. You have to, man, face them face forward, chin up. What's going on? Let me face this. How can I get through this? And worry about the solution. Worry about the solution and not the problem. We focus so much on the problem that we forget to, man, how can I solve this? How can I overcome this? So guys, this is not a video to condemn you and to judge anybody that drinks. It's just be mindful of what it's doing to your body. Be mindful of what it's doing to your brain. Be mindful of what it's doing to you as a person and as a whole. If you need a drink just to do anything, if you need a drink just to go out, or if you don't, oh my God, this is boring, I need a drink, then ask yourself, I might have a drinking problem. A lot of people don't want to admit that they're alcoholics because of the name. Oh, I'm not an alcoholic. I just drink here and there. Really? Can you go anywhere and not have a drink? Can you go anywhere and just stay sober? Ask yourself that next time you go out. Man, you don't need to drink every time you go out. You could have a good time without having no drinks. Learn how to love yourself the way you are, the way God created us, and understand that you don't need liquor to feel better. You don't need none of that. I saw how it destroyed my family. I saw how it destroyed some of my friends, and I don't want it to destroy you. It's still early. You're still healthy. You still have your life. You still have everything ahead of you. Put the bottle down, man, and just learn how to enjoy life for what it is. And I'm gonna end y'all with that today, man. Learn how to live. Learn how to love. You don't need substances to feel any differently. Everything that you're chasing with these alcohol and these drugs, they're already in you. They're already in you. Just try to get them out without the drugs and the alcohol, and you will be a better person. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay beautiful. And you tuned in to Check Your Mental. This your boy Jumpout of Low. I'm out.
People hate you when you speak the truth. They hate that shit. And shame on you if you mislead the youth. How you 35 with a missing tooth? You don't feed your kids, but you in the booth.